For over 25 years, Hagar International has been working around the world to free communities from slavery, trafficking and abuse. From our humble beginning in Cambodia following the Pol Pot regime, Hagar commenced programming in Cambodia in 1994, founded by a Swiss man called Pierre Tammy, who saw the need in Cambodia to help heal people who had gone through trauma. And since that period, Hagar has really grown. We've now reached 5 program office countries. So we're not just in Cambodia, but also in Vietnam, Myanmar, Singapore, as well as Afghanistan. And we've also grown our funding offices. So we have funding that now comes from countries like Australia, New Zealand, US, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Globally, we have a staff of 200 people, and we're also now reaching over 20,000 survivors of slavery, trafficking and abuse. Hagar offers 5 main solutions for dealing with survivors of trafficking, slavery and abuse. The first is casework, which we call the whole journey, where we work with clients in depth for up to sometimes 9 years, typically 3 or 4 years, to help survivors of trafficking, slavery and abuse get their lives back on track. That involves getting a case manager. It also involves counselling, legal services, and also economic development opportunities for those clients. We also work on economic empowerment of clients more generally to help them get empowered in life skills, in business opportunities, to help take their life to the next level. We also work on capacity building, building the capacity of other agencies to do the same things that Hagar does. We realise that even though Hagar is reaching about 20,000 clients, there's actually 40.3 million people who are trafficked and enslaved, so we can't actually reach all the people who are out there. So that's why it's important for us to also build the capacity of like-minded agencies in the skills of things like trauma-informed care and the whole journey approach that Hagar has. We also work on institutional strengthening. We know that laws play a big role in stopping things like trafficking and slavery and abuse for good. So Hagar also concentrates on advocacy and working with lawmakers to set the frameworks and systems to help prevent things like trafficking, slavery and abuse. And lastly, we do work on prevention. Because we know our clients and their journey and where they've come from, we also can work with the communities where they've come from to help educate and raise awareness on prevention so that people are not subject to trafficking, slavery and abuse in the future. So the main differentiator between Hagar and other organisations is trauma-informed care. Hagar believes that the central theme that crosses survivors of trafficking, slavery and abuse is the effect of trauma. And it's very important to effectively address trauma. So in all the programming that Hagar is involved in, the 5 main areas, trauma-informed care is a central aspect of that. We believe that when healing happens, the cycle of trauma stops. So this is a key element of our work, and also something that we are building capacity of others to make sure that other agencies, governments, partners also understand trauma and adequately deal with that in their programming approaches. So one of the things I really love about Hagar is when we officially finish working with survivors through our whole journey approach, we stay very much connected with them. And there's several key areas where we stay connected with our survivors. One is that often our survivors get referred on to other social enterprises, that they actually take a role in their community economically. Over the past, Hagar's set up a number of social enterprises, particularly in Cambodia. We've set up a catering business, a soy milk factory, a clothing manufacturing company, and often our survivors, after they've gone through the whole journey, the case management part of our work, they've then gone into those social enterprises who we stay connected with. So they're connected with Hagar, but they're also contributing to their own communities, which is fantastic. The second aspect is often survivors become spokespeople for Hagar. We're really blessed to have a large number of people who have gone through our program who are happy and confident to tell their story. And that's just so powerful, because then those people can share the journey they've gone through, the transformation they've gone through. And that's both inspiring to other survivors, but also it helps raise awareness and also funding for the work that Hagar does. And the last element, which I find really interesting, and I'm really happy that it happens in Hagar, is a number of clients who have successfully gone through the program have then become Hagar staff. So I know in a number of our offices we have clients, you know, who got connected with Hagar because of needing the services of Hagar, but then when their life has ended up being transformed, they've ended up coming back to Hagar as staff. And I think that's really amazing, because we then have actually clients who are working on our staff who can actually share their story and really help us all live out our values and connect what we're doing with our work. First of all, Hagar would like to acknowledge that we know that you have gone through trauma and that this is a very difficult experience. But we also want to reassure you that Hagar is there to help. So we would encourage you to speak out and also to seek assistance from people like Hagar and other actors, because we have seen through the 20,000 clients that we have helped over the years that healing and transformation is really possible. So we are here to help as Hagar, and we know that other partners are also here to help. And certainly in terms of Hagar's mission, that we believe that we will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to make sure that trafficking, slavery and abuse is stopped in the world. Thank you.